Today, we are going to discuss a very important topic. I'm Shereen Hafez Ibrahim from Cairo University, Egypt. Our topic today is about caries-free society. Could we fight dental caries by nutrition? Let's first see the global burden of systemic disease. As we know, according to the latest publication in 2017, we have almost 3 million people suffering from cardiovascular disease. However, the worldwide caries prevalence is 2.4 billion people, and it represents worldwide, and it represents 60% of the Arabic population and Egyptian population as well. So the caries is very damaging to the health. And we have countries with more physicians and more dentists were more likely to have early childhood data about caries. Among those with data, countries with higher economic growth had higher early childhood caries prevalence. The top 5 countries in the world are having the prevalence of caries are Poland, Bolivia, Australia, India, and Philippines. However, we have caries-free countries in the European countries where the Denmark represents the least caries prevalence all over the world and the good dental health. Why the Danish people or the Denmark people having the lower caries prevalence? And they consume only 41 kilograms of sugar per year. And this means that this sugar is the cause of all systemic health problems. Sugar is the cause or the leading cause of any serious illness. Too much sugar will cause most of the systemic disease as well as tooth decay. Let's have a rapid overview on the mechanism of caries occurrence. The caries is a microbial destruction of hard tooth structure resulting in a cavity formation. This cavity will further induce more plaque accumulation, stagnation, tooth fracture, problem in occlusion, periodontal and pulpal disease, and as well as malaesthetics. The caries process is a dynamic process between demineralization and remineralization process. And the cavity occurs if the demineralization process wins over the remineralization over time. The causative factor for demineralization process or the pathological factor are several factors such as the bacterial overgrowth, reduced saliva and function, and frequent sugar intake. However, the remineralization process is enhanced or activated through the presence of protective factors such as the preventive measures, the mineral content, saliva content, and buffer, and the antibacterial agents.
Mrs. Shereen, sorry, can you move the slides, please?
The slide is moving.
No.
And which slide? You can see which slide?
We can see only the first slide.
Sure. Oh, okay. Why my screen is paused? So I will exit, stop sharing and resharing again. Excuse me. Why? Give me the message that I'm disabled to sharing my screen. Do you know why? Okay, I'm now trying to reshare my screen. Can you see my slides?
Try to move the slides, please.
I will move it now. I was stopped here. So can you see now? Okay.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Thank you. The caries occur when we have bad bacteria, poor dietary habits, and absence of saliva. However, to promote the health of the oral tissue, including the caries prevention, we should have adequate salivary flow, antimicrobials, fluoride, and the most important is the effective diet. Can you see my slide moving now or still paused?
It's moving.
It's moving, okay. The most causative factor for caries is a dental plaque and the cariogenic bacteria. Actually, the plaque at its beginning, in the first 24 hours, is not cariogenic, but however, upon time, after 72 hours, after growing of and proliferation of microorganisms with more acidic production, caries will develop.
Okay.
Also, the cariogenic microorganisms such as mutants and lactobacilli is very... I'm sorry, can you mute your phone? Thank you.
The slide.
Does the slide move?
The slides are not moving.
So where is the problem? I don't know where is the problem. I try to, which slide you can see now? You can see the slide of cariogenic bacteria now?
Now caries and health, it's, this is the slide. You can move it manually.
Why this happened? I don't know. Can you see my presentation now?
Yes.
Why the slideshow is not working?
I think you should move it manually, one by one.
Yes, but the show should work with you. What's wrong with? Why the screen is paused? Can you see the slide moving now?
We can see only one slide, the S mutants and lactobacillus.
So I will work on this view. I don't like this view. However, this is the only option we have. So, okay. So the cariogenic bacteria are the mutants and lactobacilli, as they were acidogenic and acidiuric, and it strongly adhere to the two structure producing caries. Also, the presence of lactobacilli in the cariogenic niches in the oral cavity may transfer to the gastrointestinal tract downstream, causing a serious systemic problem. This stress is another factor that can lead and promote the caries occurrence. However, in this study was carried by me with the research team in 2021. This randomized clinical trial, we are trying to find the best treatment modalities adoption for caries prevention or treatment. This study was carried on 104 dental students, and unexpectedly, they did not show proper adherence to recommendation, provided they have the maximum dental awareness, as I guess. But the stressful dental atmosphere negatively affect their oral health and compliance as well. The caries risk assessment for each individual is very important, and the caries risk assessment involves the disease indicators such as the visible cavities or radiographic examination or any disease indicators, and the other risk factors, as I said before, the plaques, the saliva, and the cariogenic microorganisms. It is very important to determine for each individual the risk assessment form, and this could be obtained in a simplified way using the cariogram, This is a software or application involved 9 elements. The Caries experience related disease, diet content and frequency, plaque amount, Newton, streptococci, fluoride, and saliva secretion buffer. It's sufficient to fill only 7 of the 9 elements to reach the risk or percent chance to avoid the development of new lesion. However, the diagnosis of the caries at its early stage is very difficult. So recent diagnostic tools are available in the markets or dental stores to detect the early development of enamel lesion. I carried this study with my research team in 2021, comparing the one of the recent diagnostic tools with the visual examination, and we found that it was very efficient in early caries detection. And this systematic search also in 2021 carried by me and with a research team, we are collecting all the recent diagnostic tools versus the ICDAS criteria or the visual examination. We studied around 28 articles in this search, and we found that most of the recent diagnostic tool could not be used alone. It should be used with the visual method or in combination with other tools. So my advice for you is to pay attention if you see any lesion like this in your mouth, as these are the actual signs denoting that you need a rapid intervention. So the treatment plan based on the risk assessment will be is the reversal of the wheel. As I said in the beginning of the lecture, that the sugar is the most cost factor for caries occurrence. So if we reverse the wheel on the other side by the elimination of sugar, so we will have favorable pH and then no development of acidogenic, acidic bacteria, and also the remineralization potential will be enhanced. So the preventive measures is very important to enhance and improve the fluoride and the mineral content in the saliva and decreasing and neutralizing the pH of the saliva. The diet control is the dynamo of this wheel. By diminishing the frequency and severity of the acidic challenge, reducing the refined carbohydrate and increasing the use of fibrous foods is the key of success in caries prevention. Also, the substitution, total replacement or partial replacement of sugar substitute using sugar alcohols as xylitol will decrease the the bacterial activities as mutants and strep and lactobacilli. The xylitol is present in chewing gum, toothpaste, and mouthwashes as well. So my advice is to increase the use of fibrous food and decrease the sugar intake. This study was carried by my research team and me in 2021, comparing the different natural products as propolis and pomegranate extract mouthwash versus the chemically used chlorhexidine mouthwash. This was a randomized clinical trial carried on 80% for 80 participants, and the results were that the propolis and pomegranate was as effective as the chlorhexidine. However, the chlorhexidine may cause taste alteration compared to other mouthwashes. Another studies in 2021 on the effect of licorice as antibacterial agent versus chlorhexidine, and the result was amazing in this clinical trial, as was the licorice was as effective as chlorhexidine, even more effective than chlorhexidine. Another studies or another important substance used regularly in diet is the probiotics. The probiotics is very useful for our health, systemic health. It's present in your diet regularly. And I do suggest that the most important type of probiotics that help in prevention of caries is or are yogurt, milk, and cheese, as it contains the beneficial anti-microorganisms as well as the presence of minerals as calcium and phosphate that remineralize the tooth structure. This study was published in 2013 in Nutrients by studying the effect of the use of probiotic strains in caries prevention. This review compared 66 papers, and they found that the probiotics in different forms diminish or try to antagonize the action of mutant streptococci, and in 2/3 of the selected paper in this review showed that the capacity to reduce the mutant streptococci count in saliva and in plaque in short terms. Another studies in 2012, another review on collecting 2 animal and 19 human studies revealed the potent effect of probiotics on mutant streptococci. Almost 12 out of 19 of these papers reported same results. And they concluded that the daily intake of milk supplemented with fluoride and probiotic may reverse or leathery primary root caries lesion in older adults. So my conclusion is, and my advice actually, is to use the prebiotic and fibers rich in our vegetables, and also to use the probiotic and increasing the use of probiotic as they are rich in beneficial microorganisms as well as rich in mineral contents. Today's technology and the promise of tomorrow with the development of nanotechnology, tissue engineering, and self-assembling would aid in the prevention of dental caries. And finally, I was lucky to publish a textbook on nanotechnology in conservative dentistry in July 2021. It was released by Elsevier, talking about the different use and of these nanotechnology in the different field of conservative dentistry. So we need to work all together for better future.